Here at Carbuyer, we are big fans of the Skoda Fabia, or the Fabia as they prefer we call it. It faces stiff competition, not least from its stable mates, the Audi A1, the VW Polo and the Seat Ibiza. But we think it has a lot going for it.
It's small, but it's comfortable. It's excellent value for money. And it has some very thoughtful little touches.
Like an eye scraper hidden in the fuel cap.
It has a smart, sensible look, and while it's not going to blow you away when it comes to style, a recent facelift has added a new grille. LED daytime running lights are standard, along with some new tech, but the price stays roughly the same. There are 4 Fabia trim levels, and this is the top of the range Monte Carlo, which is slightly sportier than the rest with its black alloy wheels, privacy glass, black rod and body kit.
Inside, well, you know it's a Monte Carlo because of these sport seats with their slightly unusual carbon fibre effect trim. Not so sure about that myself, but there are quite a few things in here that I do like.
Like the carbon fibre effect trim, which works better on the dash than it does on the seats, but it livens up what is a fairly dull interior, and I also like the Monte Carlo Edition sporty steering wheel.
An infotainment screen is standard across the range and you'll find it intuitive and easy to use. It also links up to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, whilst the functionality and also the build quality are very good in here, there is something that lets it down massively, and that's just the fact that some of these plastics are just so cheap and scratchy. Now look, I know from the comment sections on some of our videos that you get a bit cross with Batch and I when we talk about scratchy plastics. So let me just explain why they drive me mad so much. I mean, this car, the Monte Carlo Edition, is just under £17,000. If you add all the extras on that this one has got, it's just under £19,000. And if you're spending that much money on a car, I don't want to feel cheap plastics like this. And it really lets down what is otherwise quite a smart interior.
In terms of spec, the entry level comes with a touchscreen infotainment system, DAB radio, Bluetooth phone connectivity and LED daytime running lights, but we recommend the SE level, which offers the best range of functionality and value and adds air conditioning along with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility.
When it comes to the boot, it's a practical good size, although it's not quite as good in terms of size as the VW Polo or the Seat Ibiza. However, it's got a nice square area. You've got storage compartments on both sides here and also over here. And of course, if you fold the back seats down, then you're going to get even more load area. However, it's quite annoying as they don't fold completely flat.
You'll also find more thoughtful touches like the tread depth gauge in the fuel filler cap and the eye scraper that doubles as a magnifying glass.
The Fabia is only available as a 5-door. Whilst I'm on the subject of doors, I don't think the back doors open wide enough to make it easy to get children and car seats in and out. You have ISOFIX points there for the car seats, one on each outer seat. And you are going to fit 5 people in here, but this middle seat is definitely really only for children. Legroom is virtually non-existent because of the transmission tunnel and this little storage compartment down here. Knee room, though, is okay. It's not the best I've seen, but this is a small car. But as for headroom, well, the high roofline means that is pretty good. Overall, it's absolutely fine back here. It's not best in class, but it does the job. When it comes to engines, Skoda have done away with the diesels from the Fabia range, and quite frankly, they don't need one. None of them are over a litre in size, and it's best to avoid the entry-level models which don't have a turbo. They just feel out of their depth when they're fully loaded or when you need a bit more pulling power. The punchier 1-litre STI engines feel far more capable thanks to their turbocharged power delivery, and they actually don't cost a huge amount more. Now, don't get carried away with that Monte Carlo badging on this top spec car. It may share its name with the famous Rally, but I'm afraid that's where it ends. This car is definitely all show and not very much go. A Fiesta ST it isn't. It apparently has a sport suspension, but sporty isn't a word that springs to mind as I drive around the Carbuyer track in it today. It delivers 94 horsepower, which again is slightly disappointing for a car bearing a Monte Carlo badge. But it does feel comfortable and refined, and actually it has plenty of mid-range punch for overtaking, and it's pretty good around town as well. It's definitely not as much fun as the Ford Fiesta, but then few cars in this class are.
The steering in particular, despite having this nice flat-bottomed steering wheel, isn't that sharp and responsive, whilst there's more than a hint of body roll if you push hard into a corner.
Paired with this engine is that 5-speed manual gearbox that I've mentioned. And you also have the option of a DSG twin-clutch automatic gearbox if you go for the top-of-the-range model. It's generally a pretty smooth, slick gearbox, makes for a relaxing drive on longer journeys. As for this manual, well, as I've already said, it feels like it needs 6th gear, and it does suit the nippy nature of the Fabia around town, but it's not the smoothest gearbox. But just like the automatic, which I tried out in my review of the Fabia estate, it does the job. Sadly, fans of Skoda's VRS badge are going to be disappointed, as there is no hot hatch version. You're going to have to check out the Polo GTI or the Fiesta ST if that's what you're after. And you have to bear in mind that this particular Monte Carlo model isn't far off Fiesta ST money. And I know which one I'd rather have. If you add into the mix impressive safety kit and a full 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating, we think that while the Skoda Fabia isn't going to set your world on fire, it's an honest car that delivers on what it promises, as long as you stick to the less expensive specs. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, then why not check out my video of the Skoda Fabia estate and also our Ford Focus and VW Polo videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.